but it's a good morning. You know, after 12 o'clock, morning time start. But this is twilight hours. This is what you call twilight hours. Yes. So let's get into this content. Let's get into this video. All right. Let's get into this. I want to, this is a continuation to my other video that I did about basically, this Hantavirus outbreak, right? That happened on this cruise ship, stuff like that. I gave my, input into it. Being that being one that was trained, it was kind of terrorism, dealing with hazmat and dealing with quarantine, right? This was at the time of storage when I was working in storage alert. This was a joint task that all of the storage companies at that time embarked on, because you have major storage places and people could rent storage and they could make all type of chemical, biological bombs and everything else. So being that I went to a course and being that I went to a class, I could just give you my training and I could just give you my input of dealing with this quarantine and dealing with biohazard chemical warfare, right? That I trained for. Basically, we had hazmat suits, we had gloves, and we had goggles, and we had the mask with filters. All right. First and foremost, the lack of training of the captain and his crew shows the education part of biological chemical warfare and the studies and the education of it. The captain and his crew supposed to be trained, right, in potential threats if there is a terrorist act, biological chemical warfare attack, and any other attack. They have live demonstrations, they have videos, and they have practices, right? The day and era that we living in now is high alert. It's always high alert, because when you're dealing with biological chemical warfare, you know that this comes from laboratory, right? And in order to create these biological chemicals, you need a live host. And most of these laboratories deal with rats and they deal with mice. They deal with small mice. And as the studies keep growing, the live hosts get bigger, bigger, and bigger and bigger. The live hosts, when you are dealing with laboratories, dealing with chemicals that can destroy nations, that can destroy communities, that can cause bird flu virus, that can cause COVID and everything else. You understand what I'm saying? We should learn what happened during COVID, how many people that we have lost, right? And of course, you're going to get up on social media, you're going to get up on these major platforms that says that you're confident that the Hantavirus is under control. First and foremost, that captain that had that ship, that cruise ship, is supposed to have docked on sea. If you have 2 or 3 bodies and you don't see no traumas or nothing like that, right then and there, that shows you and tell you right then and there that there is some type of chemical biological warfare. If you are trained and you know your training, you understand what I'm saying? This should send alarms. And everybody on that ship at that time, you're supposed to anchor right then and there. You're supposed to turn off the engine and anchor and lock everybody down in their room to control and contaminate that area. Everybody supposed to be designated to go in a room. Your crew supposed to be what? Trained to put on a hazmat, right? and be trained for what? For war. For war, because at that time this is an act of war. You don't know. You just taking precautions. I know and understand this because I took the counterterrorism class and biological chemical warfare class. We didn't have live live classes, but we saw countless of videos on what to do just in case we encountered someone that was doing something in their unit and storage. So I have training and I have knowledge of this. I actually passed the test and got a reward for that. The reason why I'm saying is because we are living in a time where you got mad scientists are creating biohazmat chemicals in laboratories. Yes, you do. You do. Right? This captain and his crew should have been what? Should have been trained for biological chemical warfare. All these countries supposed to get on board, right? And everybody that has these specific jobs that holds rank, that holds a position in the country should be trained for biological chemical warfare. This is an actually true fact. And I know you agree with me. I know you agree with me. Trump says that this administration says that he feels that it's confident. Confident is good, but confident is not great all the time. It is good, but it's not great. And in this incident, the confidence is not great because we as Americans, we as people, and we as mankind don't trust the word of those who are higher up because of what happened in the past of COVID. That ship is supposed to have docked at all. If you got 2 or 3 bodies that don't have no trauma, don't have no sign of anything, just end up dead, right then and there, you set the alarm off. Right then and there, inside your mind, puts a click that there is a biological chemical warfare going on. Everybody supposed to be designated in their room, quarantine into their room. You supposed to dock, lower the anchor down, send an SOS out there. I got 3 bodies. I don't know what's going on. It looks like a chemical biological warfare upon the ship. Immediately, a investigation supposed to take part. Then you send out a hazmat team. You send out a hazmat team. You send out a team that deals with radiation. You send out a team that deals and know and understand that biohazard and biochemistry, biological chemical warfare is very, very deadly and is very, very high. And you treat this matter as such. You understand what I'm saying? You treat it as such because this is a war. And once one spread it, it spreads like wildfire because now it's airborne. We don't know what's airborne. We don't know what's foodborne. We don't know what is going on. We just need to contain this area and not dock nowhere. And not dock. And not dock. Right? Because this is really, really important. Why? Because these matters are really, really important. You don't know where they was on this cruise, where they end up at. In some of these places that they end up at. You understand what I'm saying? They may fueled up and stuff like that. And right then and there, you can see that somebody may use a tiny mouse that you can't see, a baby mouse, right? Put a camera on it and release some chemicals. I'm just saying, it's all alleged. Because at this point, this is a biological chemical warfare. This is a biological chemical warfare that these mice or rats was used in a laboratory because you need a live host to hold the virus. to hold the virus. All you need is put a camera on these things, a small a small micro camera that you really can't see with the eyes, that you can navigate, that you can communicate with this mouse or rat, and then put some type of chemicals in it and then release it where people are at. It's going to spread like wildfire first, you know what I'm saying? Hitting your respiratory system. What type of virus this is? Hantavirus. It's airborne. Do it attack the immune system? Do it attack the nerve system? Do it attack the circulatory system? Right? Do it attack the digestive system? These things need to be in the proper perspective, and you treat this as such as a biological chemical warfare. You have to do the investigation. Now, the 2 residents that's in Jersey that's quarantined, that's being monitored, they quarantine being monitored. We got to see who they encountered. And then you got to lock down that facility because you have to contain the threat. You have to contain the threat. And it shows the lack of concern. It shows the lack of professionalism inside of our administration and inside of this administration right here. While we are focused on everything else, people and someone is using biological chemical warfare that you cannot detect because you have individual that's not trained, right, and not professional when it comes to this matter. And these things supposed to have been addressed many, many years ago because we lost thousands and millions of people towards COVID. You understand what I'm saying? So I want you to follow me. I want you to follow me because this matter is very, very serious. Right? So now I urge all of the American people, all people that's over here in the West, in the West, in the West. Listen, man, this thing can spin out of control because you don't know who they encounter, if they sneezing and everything, coughing all around people. You don't know the vicinity, the vicinity that they cough and the germs spread. And you know, you got the fans on, you got the you got the you got the natural systems on and everything else, you know. You got central air on. Once you got central air on, it spreads through everything. Your lungs start getting tight. You start having diarrhea. You start feeling delusional. You start feeling dizzy and everything else. You don't have no taste buds and everything else. You understand? I want you to look at this, man. This shows the lack of professionalism, right, in the highest form. Because the chemical, biological warfare, you can't see it with the eye. You can't detect it. And this is why it's really, really important is that all around the world, you have to be on the same page when they're dealing with chemical, biological warfare. You need machines, high-tech machinery to detect it, because it's really, really important, right? Now we got to do an investigation. Where did this come from? Where did they dock at before? What's going on, right? Get the guest list. Everybody have to be questioned. Everybody's a suspect at this time. You understand? I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying that we have to look at this in a different manner, in a different light, because we are living in a day and era where everything is on a high alert. Everything's on a high alert at this point in time because what's going on? People are fighting over oil. People are fighting over money and everything else. People are doing things for money, for future events, to protect their lineage, to protect their family, right? Zillionaires and billionaires and everything else. And I'm just saying allegedly. I'm saying allegedly. All of this, you know, these things, man, need to be questioned, man. It's suspect to me. How can this rat, right, get out and spread this virus, Hantavirus? It had to be in a laboratory. In order for biological chemical warfare to work, it needs a live host. It needs a live host. And majority of the time in these laboratories, they use mice and they use rats, and then they upgrade it. They use monkeys and rabbits and everything else, you know? So this is something to look at, man. This is something to look at. And this administration, this is looking nasty for you. This is looking nasty for this administration, man. How can you allow the ship to dock and let people off where you got 3 or 2 bodies that don't show no signs of trauma? Right then and there, that lets you know that there's some type of sickness going on, and you dock right there. You ain't supposed to dock on land. You're supposed to dock on sea, where there's open sea, where there's no people at. You know? And lock down the facility and lock down the boat. If that boat should perish, anybody that's on that boat should perish, then so be it. You send your scientists, you send a hazmat crew out there to test everything. That's what is supposed to have happened. That is the training. That's the effect. And you have these individuals lack training, lack of thought, lack of understanding doing this. Allegedly. And I don't respect that, man. You know, because you know why? Because a life means a lot. A life, there's no amount of money, no amount of gold that can add up to life and living. Each and every mankind, person that is in existence, I don't care if you're black, white, or Spanish, you know, no amount of money can add up to your life. So I want you to know and understand that this was a nasty work. This was nasty work, you know. Of course, you know, because it's gonna be a big alarm, and everybody's gonna be running out doing what they're gonna do. I need the people to do this. Get this information out. You gotta get yourself the mask that has filters. You gotta get gloves. Stack up on water. You gotta have water. Flashlights, candles. These things supposed to be in each and every community, in each and every house. Because we living in a day of time where things are weird. It is weird. It is weird for you. It is weird for me. And I don't trust it at this point. I don't trust it. You know what I mean? I don't trust it. You know? This administration has lack of empathy, lack of concern, lack of care. Everything's about money, you know? And this what it goes to show. Why was these 2 individuals from New Jersey was allowed to get off that boat? Why the boat wasn't quarantined? Why the people wasn't quarantined? Why did this boat and ship was allowed to dock where that this thing could get out of control and out of hand? I'm just saying, man, even if it's not true, what is the protocol to this? What is this? It shows the lack of education, the lack of training of those supposedly in authority. It's actually true fact, man. This what happened when money, fame, fortune, and riches, like, share, subscribe, lights, cameras, and action play a part in our life. And I want you to do this. Keep your eyes open and your head on a swivel. It's murder, death, kill going on here. Not just physically, right? But mentally and spiritually. Live the life, lead the life. Ain't no thing. I'm married to the game and the game is married to me. It cloak itself with your lower desire of fame, fortune, and riches. Like, share, subscribe, lights, cameras, and action. Not going to tell you that's going to backdoor you in the end. And the result of this is being backdoored because the enemy can creep right up. Anybody can creep right up, and knowing that the security of biological chemical warfare is weak and is not strong, can make a move on us or anybody. You know? So your guys do this investigation, and I hope this investigation get done promptly at this time to what? To secure and to protect the American people. That's an actually true fact. That's right. So I would like to say peace, y'all. Peace, 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 peace.